Here we go with episode Kamui. And what does this installment bring us? Cults. It turns out that group after the family is actually a terrorist org that they were part of. And hey, you don't really see nationalist terrorist protagonists in the West very often. They mention expanding outwards to a quote, greater power. Am I a nationalist for assuming that great power is America? In other news, we actually learned this rogue's name, Joe Hogan. And my name's Jeff Hogan, so not saying this story's based on my life, but I'm also not saying it isn't. Since Sleepy Joe and his family attempted to leave that group, they broke code, so his family suffered the consequences. I mean, they must have an insane NDA. This whole episode's got this black market feeling to it, including the doctor that's treating Joe. They seem fairly chummy, so it gets me wondering if the doc was also a part of that group. Not to mention, he even seems familiar with the techniques Joe's been using that are potentially fatal. In fact, the injuries really should have killed him, but didn't. It could be because some higher power like a demon is looking over him, or he could just be built different. Which this guy is about to learn because he has fervently reached the find out portion. The way Joe tortures him actually made me wince. I don't know if it was the shrieks or the fact that he kind of seems like he's doing it just to pass time. Like he's impaling this man and internally like making a grocery list. The other ninja continues to taunt him and I'm thinking, are you really in the position to do that? Just gives you another glimpse into how twisted they are. It's funny because the speech he delivered was a little hammy. But if someone said that stuff to me while I was hanging upside down, I wet myself, so. Also, Kenjiro Suda is just a legend. If this other ninja did soil himself, he got dried off real quick when Joe burns him alive. Meanwhile, the FBI is still investigating that hospital event, but fascinatingly, the chief claims they can't look into it any further basically because they don't know what happened. And it's like, bro, isn't that literally your job to figure out? So clearly some government conspiracy is going on, like they're trying to tuck this away. I can't help but wonder if this guy is maybe in cahoots with the terrorist ninjas. Emma! We find out some more background on Joe and it turns out the whole family was under an alias. Makes you wonder what kind of crimes and horrors they were responsible for, like piracy. Quickly resuming his revenge quest, Joe goes seeking out his opponents. It's pretty dope to watch him scope out all these various locations in Ohio. He finds himself in a bar where some scummy sheriffs start antagonizing the place. But Joe does not appreciate these guys breathing his air and quickly does them in while showing off one of his techniques. Yo, he didn't even touch the dude, which in anime terms means S tier. Perhaps feeling a sense of desperation, he gives a call to those detectives that came to visit him. He's trying to get some intel from them while protecting his identity one flip phone at a time. What's also noteworthy is all the emphasis being placed on this tech company. Aza? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all always do. At this point, it's hard to tell what role they're gonna play, but I'm thinking they have something to do with how these ninjas keep finding Joe. They're also taking over the world with their vision goggles, which is pretty apt. Adding to that underground feeling, the meeting place they decide on is the sketchy Waffle House. I guess losing his family made him feel a sense of helplessness because he's determined to maintain control of the situation, even when the cop dials it up to 10 and starts interrogating him. I thought the gag with the Uber Eats people disrupting them was pretty funny, and loved the subtle detail of Joe shifting his body when he detects an unwanted visitor. And much like a Waffle House, a fight breaks out and you can't look away. Last episode I praised the simplicity of the hand-to-hand combat, but this episode Joe's giving us a lot more. He shows off his ninja arts and it's pretty stunning. Additionally, it lends him several different fighting styles, including, but not limited to, burping. It's pretty wild to think that they're hunting him and he's hunting them too. The detective ended up getting that face reveal and confession he was after, so it seems like he'll be pretty plot important. Eventually the whole diner gets lit up, which allows Joe the opportunity to escape. But it looks like our man is far out of the woods. Another banger. Maybe people had some concerns about a potential lack of plot, but there's definitely something cooking. This group Joe was a part of is apparently moving on a global scale, meaning an international crisis could be coming up. Plus, this was some deep lore on him. Why did he leave the group? Was he ashamed of it? I mean, it doesn't seem like he has many qualms about killing, that's for sure. Maybe it's a deeper reason? Maybe he just wanted to move on with his life. That's what I'm curious about. Not to forget the tech company, because the impending hazards of AI is very on my mind, so they have my focus too. Another great episode that I give another 8.